Since I've been getting all these emails in the past few months on my inbox and social media, people have been asking me, hey, Mr. 4K, I know the comments are turned off, but this is the only way I can reach out to you. Could you please tell me honestly, in your honest experience, since you had experienced all of these consoles, you've been through all of these consoles from Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One X and Xbox One S and PlayStation 4 and 4 Pro and PS5 and Xbox Series X and gaming laptops and gaming PCs and PlayStation VR 2 and original PlayStation VR, Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch OLED, etc., etc. Since you have experienced all of the above, what are your thoughts honestly about what's the best for a consumer? And that's a tough question. And that's a very hard question to answer. And the reason I'm using a PlayStation as that one example is because PlayStation has always been, in my opinion, this console has always been um, la creme de la creme of stability and quality. And you want a console that's stable and that has quality and stability. Okay. Now, I have experienced Xbox Series X, and I have to be honest, I had many times where the console would shut down for no reason. It would crash for no reason. The game would crash. I'm not saying that doesn't happen on the PlayStation. It has happened on the PlayStation as well. But most of the time, these things would happen on the Xbox Series X. Keep in mind, the way PlayStation is designed very uniquely, where, for example, on the Xbox Series X, you can't just directly stream to YouTube, right? You need a capture card, right? Right now, I'm using a capture card to capture this. But on the Xbox Series X, you have to have a capture card, which costs an additional money for you to stream on YouTube, right? So that's inconvenient, right? Yes, you can stream to Twitch, but you cannot stream to YouTube, which makes no sense. On a PlayStation, you can go ahead and you can take a screenshot right now, or you can broadcast. You can broadcast. Well, first you have to start the game, but you can broadcast right away without any problems. Select where you want to broadcast: YouTube, Twitch, wherever. You can record a video. You can edit a video. You can do all of this directly from a console. You don't even need a microphone. Like this, you need a headset. For the Xbox, you need a headset, which costs about $100. With a PlayStation, the microphone is built in. I don't even need a headset. So what I'm trying to essentially say, when I look at like the PlayStation 5 and compare it to Xbox Series X, the choice is very clear that the PlayStation has the upper hand because of all of these unique, convenient features that it has. Okay, like I said, the microphone is already built in. The controller, dual sense controller with a haptic feedback and haptic triggers, it's much better than the Xbox controller. Let's be honest. Has a built-in rechargeable batteries, which Xbox controller doesn't have that. The microphone is built in. It even has a speakers that that's built in, so you can listen to a voice coming out of it. Right. One good example, it's Microsoft Flight Simulator. On Microsoft Flight Simulator, when the ATC is communicating with you, you can listen to the ATC from the speakers. All of these cool, unique features that the PlayStation has that is just more unique and better, in my opinion, than the Xbox Series X and S. But the best thing about PlayStation, in my opinion, is the exclusives. These exclusives, right? Exclusives, and I can go through some of the exclusives that I have, well, that PlayStation has, like Ghost of Yetei, right? An amazing game, right? Ghost of Yate, you can play this. It's only exclusive to PlayStation. Um, Days Gone, which is exclusive only to PlayStation. The Last of Us Part 2, The Last of Us Part 1, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Spider-Man 2. All of these games, they're all exclusive to PlayStation, you know. So they also play better. Not only that, but they also play better. And from what I understand, if you have a PS5 Pro, the games play better. That was the same true case for PS4 Pro because I did have an original PS4 and the PS4 Pro, and there were differences obviously between the PS4 and PS4 Pro, and you notice these differences. But in order for you to notice these differences, you have to have you know experienced both consoles, you know, and you can tell. So in my opinion, PlayStation certainly it's probably the best choice. Now there's Nintendo Switch 2, but keep in mind, Nintendo Switch 2, you have to ask yourself, am I a Nintendo fan? Do I like Pokemon games? Do I like Super Mario games? If you love Nintendo's ecosystem and what Nintendo has, absolutely, sure, go for it. Um, but if you don't like Nintendo's ecosystem and their, characters and their games, but that's really a more of like a personal preference, right? Because I don't know what your preference is. But that's only something that you can answer. I cannot answer. So you have to ask yourself, look, Nintendo Switch 2, it's an amazing console. I highly recommend it. But do you like these um, first party characters and games that they have? Like Luigi Mansion, Mario, all these characters, Zelda, etc., Pokemon's, right? There's also, third party games. So that's a personal preference you have to ask yourself for. But if you're going to ask me, and that's what this video is about, if you're going to ask me, like, what is the one console that I would recommend? And keep in mind, yes, I always loved PlayStation. So yes, there's a little bit of sorry about that. There's a little bit of I guess you could say, subjective bias. I guess you could say. I'm being honest. You could say it's a little bit of subjective bias, but that's because PlayStation has changed my gaming perspective. Back in 1998, I was a Sega guy, Sega and a little bit of Nintendo, but I was mainly Sega guy. I was a Sega Saturn all the way, dude, and I thought Sega Saturn was the best thing ever. And then Nintendo 64 came out with Zelda and GoldenEye, and I was like, okay, well, this is pretty cool. But I was still, devoted to Sega Saturn. And then 1998, I was still playing Sega Saturn and Nintendo 64, Legend of Zelda, and the Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda, and GoldenEye, right? And all those rare games, Perfect Dark, etc., etc. But then PlayStation came in. And I told you a story. I walked into a Target store. I was looking to buy some Sega Saturn games and some Nintendo 64 games. And then there was this thing sitting there. It says Sony PlayStation. I said to the clerk, why is there a CD player from Sony mixed in with Nintendo 64 and Sega Saturn? He was like, no, 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 that's not a CD player, even though you can play CD music on it, compact disc. This is a big deal back then. He said, no, 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 that's a console from Sony. I said, what? Sony only makes televisions and you know um, hi-fi, these hi-fi stereos, hi-fi stereos. And he goes like, no, 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 no. That's their first console. I was like, okay. So long story short, when I purchased my PlayStation, and that's what you're looking at, the original, right above, right there, where it says 6:35 a.m. right above, that was the very first console from Sony. And I fell in love ever since. It really changed my gaming perspective. It really made me a even bigger gamer than what I was back then. I was kind of a casual gamer because remember I was coming out of the war in Bosnia. It was 1995, right when the war was over in Bosnia. Came here, immigrated to the United States, and then I was looking to get back into gaming. So I was kind of a casual gamer. Started with all these Sega Saturn games. Me and my brother Sega Saturn games, and then of course Nintendo 64. But then in 1998, PlayStation changed my perspective. What the perspective was to me with PlayStation, and this is the important part I want you to understand, even though it's my opinion, it was the very first console that was creating video games for the adults. You know, that's not to say that Nintendo 64 didn't have any adult games. They have Turok and some others. That's not to say that Sega Saturn didn't have any adult games, but the quality of video games that Sony was producing was like a movie quality, adult movie quality type games, like Parasite Eve, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, Siphon Filter, etc., etc., etc. And that's where I fell in love with PlayStation. That's where my love for PlayStation came in. But yes, I'm also a gamer. I have tested so many consoles. I'm 47 years old. I have tested so many consoles, so many games on variety of different consoles and systems and a PC. And if you watch my 10,000 videos, you will see that. So what I'm trying to tell you here at the end of this video, I would still recommend PlayStation. So if you ask me what would be like the console, let's say you want to get back into gaming and you see there's Nintendo Switch 2, you see there's Xbox Series X and S, I have to tell you, uh, and I know that the PlayStation 5 it's expensive. I know that PlayStation 5 Pro it's expensive, even though Pro will give you a better storage, will give you about 60% of power because it's a 16 teraflops versus 10 teraflops that the original PS5 has. It'll give you a better, performance in rendering. So I still believe that PlayStation, if you can afford it, if you have the money to buy it, even the base PS5 is good enough. Like you don't have to really go with the PS5 Pro. PS5 Pro is really if you care about performance. If that 60 FPS is really that important to you, if that 120 FPS is really that important to you, if the performance is very important to you, then PS5 Pro without a doubt. But if you are okay with what PS5 has to offer with a 30 frames and a performance mode of 1080p, 60 frames, if you're happy with that, if you're happy with what PlayStation has to offer, then the base PS5 is good enough. This is a base PS5, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you playing The Last of Us, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Gran Turismo 7, Astrobots, Grand Theft Auto 5, all of these games, Robocop. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you playing all these games uh, with a base PS5. You will still have like a Death Stranding 2. I played Death Stranding 2 on the PS5 base, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It's not like you're going to lose the quality, or if you play a Spider-Man 2, it's not like you're going to lose a quality. You're still going to get same quality. Assassin's Creed Shadow on the base PS5, it will still look great. It's not like you're going to lose a quality. Um, so if you're okay with that, same thing with Gran Turismo 7. You're still going to get Silent Hill 2. you're still going to get a good quality. I'm pretty sure even with the Wolverine on the PS5, you will get a good quality. I'm pretty sure even with Grand Theft Auto 6, yes, it's going to be 30 FPS, but you're still going to have a good quality in the experience. So if you are okay with a base PS5, which honestly I think it's more than good enough till the PlayStation 6 comes out, I would recommend PlayStation 5 this holiday season. Now, if the money's not an issue and you have the money, or maybe you found a really good deal on a PS5 Pro for like, I don't know, like 750, you found a used PS5 and it's in good condition for 750, someone's selling it for 750 and you want to buy it for 750, okay, cool, dude, just go for it. Or if the money's not an issue and you want to pay the full price, which is $900, go for it. But that's a personal preference. All I'm simply saying is I would always recommend PlayStation versus Xbox Series X. Now, I'm not trying to, like, you know, be some sort of a negative nanny regarding the Xbox Series X. I have used Series X and Series S, and it has served me well. I played a bunch of games on it. Okay. But I always felt that the way PS5 is designed more uniquely. Everything's organized, easy to find. On Xbox Series X, you have to jump through hoops to get to just to a party chat, dude. Here, that's not the case. Everything is more organized on PlayStation 5. Everything it's where it needs to be. It's just designed more clean, better. Uh, it's a more disciplined design of a console. While the Xbox Series X, the user interface, it's all over the place. It's like shuffling the cards, trying to get to where you need to get to. So there's nothing wrong with the Xbox Series X, uh, but I think honestly, uh, if you want my advice, and that's what this video is about, you want my advice. I think PlayStation 5. It's probably for me personally. If you want to know what I think, and that's the whole point of this video, you want my advice. I think with PS5, you will have a great experience. Don't forget, there's also PlayStation VR 2 on top of that. And Xbox doesn't have that, while the PlayStation 5 has that. They have PlayStation VR 2, so there's that as well. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say on this video. I hope this video helps you out a little bit. Okay, I'm just trying to like give you my answer on your questions that you guys have been asking me, because I know some of you are in predicament. You have the money, you want to buy a console, but you're not sure which console to buy, and that's what this video is about. It's me trying to help you out and tell you what I think it's, in my opinion, the best choice. You know, so yeah, PlayStation certainly, in my opinion, would be the choice. And now, if you can find a PS5 Pro, even better. If you can find it used for like 750 or 800, go for it. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all I have to say. I hope this video helps you out. I hope it does. Like I said, that's my opinion. That's what I think. This is the best answer I can give you. So I hope that this was satisfactory. You know, okay. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.